Hey everyone, today we are going to take a look at a full stack app builder, which can build full stack FastAPI apps using both o1-mini and Claude 3.5 Sonnet, the latest one. It automatically creates all files and folders specialized in FastAPI apps. This is the app, for example, it had created. Here we go, with testimonials and stuff. Very quick, very easy. Let's just start right away. I'll delete the app that it had created. So let's start by running the application. You can use both OpenAI and Anthropic for the models or OpenRouter. It's your choice since O1 is only available to tier 5 through OpenAI. You can actually access it through OpenRouter. You just need an API key. Let's select the first option. Now, by default, it starts with o1-mini, so you can experiment with it, but I found that o1-mini is not that great with styling, so we can do --s to switch the model to Claude 3.5 Sonnet, or you can switch back and forth. They'll have awareness of the project that you're working with. So let's enter this instructions. They are asking for please create a detailed and complex landing page with lots of information. Use Daisy UI. Now, we'll be talking about the code, but actually, you can watch how I built this at my 1000x masterclass. This is the latest chapter, actually, how to build a full stack fast API web app builder. It's 25 minutes long. This is the 18th chapter in my 1000x masterclass, which has 18 such videos of over 8 hours of content. If you're interested in learning how to code with Cursor, link will be in the description. Please check it out. Okay. We have created the main.py and the templates index.html. And it is referring to a static folder, which is going to give an error. Let's just, even though it is instructed to create all folders, let's just say static folder is missing. Allow it to fix it real quick. Alternatively, we could have also just commented this out. Static folder is for files such as JavaScript, CSS, or images, things like that. I guess it didn't need to use that, but it added some additional styling. So all we have to do is now run this file. Let me create a split terminal and run the main.py file because it is instructed to be able to run it directly from the file itself. Now, if we go and go to the necessary URL, the local host, then we see that it actually picked up some images as well from probably Unsplash. So this looks really beautiful, actually, right away. But we can give it additional instructions such as add gradients and animations. Let's see what it does. Like I said, again, 3.5 still seems to work better with design, but maybe o1 is actually better if you run into complex problems. If you watch my autocoder video, I was showing that it was able to build a 2000 lines long PyQt app and 1200 lines long tower defense game. So o1 is really good at really complex code situations. Not so great maybe at initializing a project. Okay, it is done. Let's refresh. And it added some animations for sure, I suppose, but it didn't really add gradients. Let's ask it again. I'm going to say, please add colorful gradients and additional animations to the design. This is looking pretty beautiful though, already. And it's a full stack app, so you can have backend functionality through the main.py file. And if you look at the index.html, it's using PicSum photos. I guess it knows that it can actually grab some photos from there. So it wrote about 166 lines of HTML code. That's pretty impressive. Used some SVGs as well. Okay, here we go. It updated with some gradient animations, especially if we refresh the page. You can see the gradient rolling across. Some additional animations added. So you can iteratively build like this. This is pretty wonderful. It's pretty simple, so you can modify it, especially since we are asking it to return the content in between tags. So this can get confused with HTML tags sometimes, but for the most part, it should work. You can feel free to modify it according to your needs. Yeah, here we are asking it to return within tags following the Anthropic's use cases. Anyway, so let's take a look at the code we are using. So the requirements will be for this OpenAI and Anthropic. And here we have a class for either using OpenAI Anthropic and OpenRouter. This function get model provider will look at this class and print and ask you to make a choice. Call model will take in a model, prompt a provider, and if it's using OpenRouter, it'll use the base URL for that. And if the model is o1-mini, it'll use the OpenRouter model for that. Otherwise, Anthropic's Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and it makes the call per usual and just returns the contents. Otherwise, if it's a direct provider, then we use o1-mini and make the call as usual, or Claude 3.5 Sonnet and make the call as usual. The only difference is mixed tokens here. Let's actually set this to 8,000 since Anthropic supports it. And Anthropic requires the mixed tokens to be there. That's why we need to put it in there. o1-mini, actually, when you're using o1-mini with chat completions, you can't put mixed messages, just so you remember that. You can still limit the mixed tokens, but there's a different parameter for that. Then we have a create files from response function. Here is the file pattern. We're going to try to find those tags, find them all, and find the code blocks, and then actually create this. Tags can also include folder structures such as templates here and static. It tries to decipher that and creates the folders and also writes the files. Make sure that you're using UTF-8 encoding. And here is also reading existing files. It'll check for every .py, HTML, JS, and CSS files and include them. In the, it's going to walk through the entire folder. I guess we should make an exception for the full stack autocoder. Let's use Control K. Make an exception for this. Let's grab it by renaming all and paste that. Oh, we didn't want to use Composer, so just Control K. Yeah, we just don't want to get the code. It didn't matter, but this is an additional. So because full stack autocoder is separate than the full stack app. Okay, now it should do that. Generate FastAPI app is going to take in user input, a model provider, and existing files, if any, and it's going to create a list of them and join them along with their path and content. And here we have a prompt. We can't use system message with o1, so both with Claude and o1, we are using a regular user message. We are saying modify or create the FastAPI full stack app based on the following user input. We insert existing files, if any, and then we say return only the files that need to be modified or created within these tags, including directory and file path. Return the full content of the file directly using without any triple backticks, Python, or such tags. But o1 kind of insists on doing that, so we are actually double checking for this later in the code. Use Daisy UI for styling. Prefer dark mode if not specified. The main.py file should always be in the root directory. Use this instead of localhost 0.0, right? I run the script from main.py file with reload enabled using main:app. So normally you would put app here, but when you do it like this, then you can actually call it with reload true, so you can directly run the main.py file. o1 sometimes ignores these instructions. Just be mindful of that. Include the full code for each modified or new file between the tags. Always return the full code for each file you're writing or modifying so that it won't try to redact anything. Then we just call the model and create the files from responses. Here we just call in our main loop, we just call the provider. We set the model to o1-mini. I suppose we should change this to Claude since it works better to begin with. But you can always switch the model using --s command. And we create exists and read if it doesn't. Yeah, so we are checking for main.py file because since main.py file will specify that our full stack app exists, if main.py file exists, then we read the existing files right away. That allows us to actually continue from where we left off. So, for example, if I were to break this and run the autocoder and select again OpenAI and add more information to the page. So it'll actually work with the full stack project, which we already have. So that's what this enables. If main.py exists, that means we have a project. So read the files. Otherwise, existing files are none. And we print the current model, take user instructions. Q will exit the code. --s will switch between the models. And then we just generate the FastAPI app and then read the existing files for future iterations. So this is it. Like I said, you can actually watch how I built this at my 1000x cursor course. You'll have to become a patron to watch this. The first video is free, and you can preview the 2 minutes of each chapter. There's 17 of them, such as building full stack ChatGPT clone with FastAPI and with Next.js. So also building how market research app, multimodal RAG system, archive RAG researcher, and many more. When you become a patron, you'll also have access to all the project files that I've built. You can find all my projects at echohive.live, and you can, if you're a patron, you can download, for example, the synthetic thought frameworks. If you enjoy that, if you're a patron, you can download the code right away. Let's see if this update was done and check if it reflected actually. Yeah, as you can see, the about us, our team, our clients. So this works really well, and it's quite simple. So you can modify it according to your needs. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to talk with me more and get in touch with me, I have tiers on my Patreon for one-on-one consulting. Check those out as well. And for Architect Plus patrons, every week we do AMA meetings. Next one is tomorrow, 12 p.m. at Los Angeles time. Check that out as well. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next video. I would like to take a moment to talk about the benefits of becoming a patron. As some of you may know, in the last year and a half, I've spent 3,000 hours, over 300 projects as a patron. You will have access to all the code files so you can get inspiration and iterate quickly. Another benefit is that you'll have access to all my courses. And my most recent and most proud one, the 1000x Masterclass, teaching what I've learned on how to code fast and efficiently. Also the Streamlit course and the FastAPI course. In my Patreon, I also have tiers in which you can connect with me one-on-one. Check those out as well.